All right, this is Tara Devlin from Tarabuster, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. And it looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't learned a damn thing from her trip to the Holocaust Museum. What else is new? Being a Republican means never saying you're sorry or never ever learning anything and or using new information to make yourself a better person. That's the Republican birthright. It's like they've changed the American dream from you too can have a decent middle class life to you too can be an ignorant albatross around our national necks without apology. And the Nazi comparisons keep on coming. I'm not somebody who is shy, that shies away from Nazi comparisons. I'm all about Nazi comparisons. In fact, for years, it got on my nerves, this whole Godwin's law thing, where it's some internet thing that said anyone who mentions Nazis automatically loses the argument. It used to bother me because why else learn the lessons of history if we're not going to heed them? And it's also felt insulting to the people who fought, bled, and died fighting fascism or as a result of fascism. So we have an obligation to actually be hyper vigilant when it comes to fascism in America. Like when that orange tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man came down the escalator calling Mexicans rapists, the patriots of America recoiled from that as if from a hot flame. And that's the way it should be. We should be hyper vigilant when it comes to Nazi tactics. But the Republicans are all about calling others Nazis, and that is a very Nazi thing to do. So, for example, to accuse your opponent of the very thing of which you are guilty is a very Nazi thing. But it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, we know that Marjorie Taylor Greene said that House mask mandate rules are like the Holocaust, but then she apologized, and the Democrats were going to censure her, but then they withdrew the censure because she apologized. I think they should have continued. They should have pressed on and censored her because Republicans never learn. So, and here we are again. Lauren Boebert calls Biden's door-to-door vaccinators needle Nazis. These are patriots who are doing their civic duty, who are putting Pluribus Unum in action and trying to save lives, trying to save American lives, which is more than any Republican can say. They left us a country where 600,000 American corpses were made. They left that in their wake. But I guess that's not good enough for them because they're still at it with this divisive rhetoric about the basic, simple things we need to do to overcome this pandemic. Tommy Lauren, just today, says flight attendants enforcing mask mandates are Nazis of the air. And then, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene compared COVID vaccine canvassing to Nazi brown shirts. And, they're not just, it's not the only example of what Nazis they are. Because here's the thing, that when you take the Republican ideology to its conclusion, what do you get? You get Nazism. You get fascism. And we know if we went back in time to 1935 Germany, what side do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene would be on? What do you think? Would she be in the resistance? Or would she be one of Hitler's auxiliary or whatever, the female Hitler? Or she'd probably be in that birthing station, probably. But you know what side she'd be on. They're not on the right side of history, that's for sure. And for example, another example of them being very Nazi, is they're trying to turn Ashley Babbitt into a martyr. Now, Ashley Babbitt is not a martyr. She may have been a moron who fell into a Q hole, and she may have been a dupe who believed the big lie, but, a con man's going to be a con man. Dupes are dupes or suckers are born every minute, but you don't have to fall for the con man. The con man, the minute that con man came down the escalator, everyone should have, all patriotic Americans knew what we were dealing with. And, didn't want anything to do with it. That as Americans, we fought fascism. We don't embolden it here at home. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene on one of the right-wing fascist propaganda outlets talking about Ashley Babbitt.
If this country can demand justice for someone like George Floyd, then we can certainly demand justice for Ashley Babbitt, and everyone deserves to know
someone like
her, not just seeing a gun.
Someone like George Floyd. Well, what does that mean? Well, that's a very Nazi thing. Someone, I guess, that means he's less than human. Someone like George Floyd. He doesn't deserve to live. Is that he didn't put himself? He wasn't part of a coup trying to overthrow a legally elected government on the orders of a con man. He wasn't doing that. He didn't deserve to have a knee on his neck for 10 effing minutes. Nearly 10 minutes, excuse me. It's an abomination. But they're turning Ashley Babbitt into a martyr, and that is a very Nazi thing to do. Do you maybe you don't know. Have you heard of Horst Wessel? He reminds me of Ashley Babbitt. Well, and also the way the American right are martyring Ashley Babbitt. Horst Wessel was a thug. He was a Nazi in Nazi Germany, of course, right, at the time. He joined the SS, and he was just a petty little thug who found himself in a bar brawl and got himself killed in a bar brawl. And the Nazis, they turned him into a martyr. Horst Wessel lead was, in fact, it became the Nazi anthem, where whenever it was played, Nazis had to stop and put their little Nazi hand in the air in honor of this person that Joseph Goebbels had martyrized while he was lingering in the hospital. He held on for like 5 weeks, but by the time he finally died, he was already a larger-than-life figure in Nazi folklore. But that's what they're trying to do to Ashley Babbitt. They're selling merchandise about her. They're whining about who killed Ashley Babbitt. This is their rallying cry now. Who killed Ashley Babbitt? One of the blue lives that you say mattered so much, who was doing his job, and he was exonerated. So we have to be incredibly vigilant. Americans, normal people, patriots. I'm not talking to Republicans, of course. So this is what we're up against. And we have to unapologetically stick together, rally together, use E Pluribus Unum as our rallying cry, and fight back against these fascists legally and peacefully with everything we can muster. Because nothing less than the survival of the constitutionally limited democratic republic that so many Americans, so many patriots fought, bled, and died to entrust to us, and so many Americans who are lying all over the globe in their cold early graves fighting fascism have charged us with this mission to ensure the survival of a free democratic republic that works for all, not just, those who were born on third base thinking they hit a triple. So my name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. If you want more of unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy, please hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell so you will be informed when we go live. And you can join us in the chat room. There's great, amazing American normal people, patriots. Well, not just Americans. We have people from all over the world. So hang out with us, and we will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. I'll see you soon.